Hello everybody, Arturo Johnson here. And if you aren't familiar with me or my channel, we help life insurance agents to create a predictable and automated process for them to have clients chasing them instead of the other way around. And so the reason why we make these videos is because there's a lot of struggling broke agents out there, and we don't want you to be one of them. And so I just hopped off a call with one of my most successful clients. Her name is Marima, and she has a very interesting story. And so she was started back in like 2016, and she was still working a full-time job. So she was trying to get her business off of the ground. And when she came to us, it was kind of a situation where, just like so many other life insurance agents, this is kind of their last shot. And if they don't figure this thing out really quickly, they're gonna have to go and do something else. And after talking with Marima and discovering the things and the challenges that she was kind of going through, what I figured out is that, number one, she really wanted to make this work. Number two, she had prayed about it a ton. And number three, she was willing to give it her all. It just hadn't worked out for her. So what we were able to do on this call was uncover the journey, the path, the thoughts, and the process that she was going through. Because just like so many other life insurance agents, right, you've been looking for something, and when it is presented for you, you still have those butterflies and that fear in the pit of your stomach, and you don't take action. And through Marima's journey, she really talked about how if she got the opportunity, she was going to make the best of it. And so what you'll find in this video is Marima was about to quit. She was this close to giving up when she found Arturo Johnson Consulting. And ever since then, she's had absolutely amazing results. She 10x'd her ROI, and in a little over 30 days, she wrote 51K. Right? And so, it's pretty profound, right? Agents, on the brink of giving up, about to quit, and within 30 days of just making one good decision, they were able to change their business. And this is not just Marima. Excuse me. She's not the only one. There's multiple agents that are writing 30, 40, 50K using this process. And it's not magic, right? It's just a process that we have uncovered over the past 5 years for agents, right? That is predictable to get you qualified booked appointments on your calendar, and to have clients chasing you instead of the other way around, to have prospects raising their hand that want to speak to you about life insurance. I hope you enjoy this video. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And if this is something, if you're a life insurance agent that is watching this video and you're on the fence, whether you booked a call or you've been meaning to book a call, I implore you to take action today and just take a leap of faith and invest in yourself, your future, and your business, and leave the rest up to us. All right, so today we have Marima, and she is one of the newest agents to the AJC family. And so Marima, would you go ahead and just introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about you?
Okay, so yeah, I'm Marima. I am a life and health agent. I've been a life and health agent since 2016. I think really 2017, because I actually got my license like December of 2016. So I've been doing this for, all that time. I've only worked with two different companies. One was captive, now non-captive, and I'm in California.
Okay, perfect. And so let's kind of rewind. What were you doing before you got into the life insurance business, prior to 2016?
Oh, I was a pharmacy tech for 17 years.
Oh, okay, awesome. And so what motivated you, or what was the thing that, what was the shift that you wanted to make that led you to get into being a life insurance agent?
Honestly, it was, somebody always introduces you into the industry, right? So, they talked about the freedom and the money, obviously, and I was honestly just tired of corporate America. I was tired of the punching in, punching out, having a job, a boss on your back telling you what to do all the time, when you can take days off, when you can do this or that. So when I did get my license, I actually did it part-time for a whole year. And then, and that was because we were buying a house. So, with the banks, they're not too good with 1099s, right? So once we closed on our house, we closed like in August and I quit like in October, like a couple months later. And then I've been doing this full time ever since.
Awesome. And so, how was that plunge, right? Because I know you had to buy a house, but then and after you bought a house, now you're going to try and go out on your own. So what was that like?
It was scary. Like I thought about doing it, a lot of times. And then I was okay with it because again, I told you like I pray about everything. So I felt peace about it, but my husband was like, I don't know about that. Like it's not like a paycheck that you're getting, every week or every 2 weeks or whatever, and now we can have this big mortgage or, but after a little bit, the last time that I told him, like, I really hate going to work now. Like I really did, like I really would wake up and I hated going to work, like at the very end. And then he was like, okay, if you want to go all full in, like, go ahead. He was like, do it. You're a hard worker. Like, I know that you're not just gonna do something and not make sure that it works, And so I did. And like, I've been doing it full time ever since. I mean, in insurance, there's always ups and downs or whatever, good days, bad days, whatever, bad weeks sometimes. But as long as you stay consistent, if you're a hard worker, like it'll pan out. This definitely industry is not for everybody.
Yeah.
You definitely have to be take the emotion out of it because there's a lot of emotion in it, right? If you let yourself, but you really have to just be consistent and persistent, and it should work out if you work hard, because it's not hard what we do, but it does take hard work.
Exactly. Yeah. And I always say this is a consistency and persistency business. So, so let's talk about that, because you said you like to pray a lot. So how did you come across Arturo Johnson Consulting?
Actually, I have seen you like on Facebook a lot, and I tried another consulting group that I had signed on with, and they were good. It's not like I lost any money. The only thing was I'm very like straightforward, and that's like how I sell. It's never. Except when I was with the old company, with my first company, because they were bait and switch. So, there was a lot of bait and switch, which that was one of the reasons why I left and went to this new company that I'm with now, because I don't like the bait and switch, like when I go, and I was face-to-face 100% before. So when I go and I would sit with people, I like to, this is about insurance, you requested final expense insurance or whatever insurance you requested, right? So the other consulting group, like it was good. Like, I feel like I'm pretty good at what I do. I'm not the best, like I'm not Kevin Alexander, right? So, I'm pretty good, right? But, I still hate the bait and switch. So, I just felt like it was a lot more of the bait and switch, and that's why I did it, and it was good, and I did make money because again, like I just work hard at it. But this has been then when somebody that works with us said that they were doing your consulting group, and I would see like the numbers and all the posts, and they said it was 100% telesales, which I wanted to transition to anyways. And I've been transitioning to telesales since like the end of last year, but it just wasn't enough of the production, right? So the money that I was making face-to-face didn't equal out to my telesales money, which I needed to, especially living in expensive Southern California, right? But now when I was watching the numbers and stuff, and then, one of my coworkers, Andrew, right, he was like, I'm gonna do this, we should try it out or whatever. Because what I was doing before, the leads I was buying before just were not, good anymore, right? They were really good at the beginning. Then I feel like just supply and demand hit, and then they weren't good. So I was like, well, something's got to give, because either I find something good that works, or, I'm going to have to go get another job or something, which I didn't want to do. So again, I prayed about it. I felt peace about it. And I was like, well, what do I have to lose, right? I'm just going to go all in and try it. And honestly, it's been great. Like, I'm so glad that I did it.
Right. Yeah. And so a lot of times we hear that also where like people hop on a call and they're like, oh, at the end, it's like, I need to pray about it. And we always say, well, if you're a praying person, pretty sure that you were praying for something like this and then you came across our stuff, right? And so let's just kind of talk through that. What were some of the challenges that you were having that made you want to try out Arturo Johnson Consulting? Because you said you had tried something before, but like for your business specifically, what kind of challenges were you coming up against?
For me specifically, I hate dialing. The people that sit there and they're like, dial day, right? It's dial day. And they're like so excited to be dialing for, 15 hours to get their 16 appointments or whatever, right? I'm like, bunch of crap, dude, because who the heck wants to be excited to be dialing for 15 hours to get, 15, 16 appointments, right? Or 12 hours, or however many hours you have to dial through, 1,000 dials or whatever it is, right? I've always hated dialing. I mean, I'm good at it. Obviously, you have to get good at dialing. It's part of the industry. It's part of the business. But, if you can find something where it will basically shift all of your focus on selling, right? Actually helping people get the insurance that they're requesting instead of spending, 2 days out of your week dialing or having to dial every single day. Like, who would not want that? I don't know anybody that would say like, nah, I'd rather just sit and dial for 12 hours, 2 days out of my week to book my appointments, right? If they say that, like, I would question their judgment. But, one thing that I will say is like everything that I was watching on your like Facebook, when I would watch the stories, or whatever it was, the posts, it did actually come out to be true, which is one thing that I'm like, man, like this is actually the first service that I actually acquired that whatever they said actually is happening. You know what I mean? Like appointments book themselves, your calendar is kind of like full. And again, I don't know, like I've just been blessed, I guess. And I've already told you before, my calendar is like full all the time. I still haven't had to make a dial. And now everybody watching this, this is not
disclaimer, right? Let's keep it real, right? It's like, it's not happening.
Not normal for everybody, like don't think that, the results are going to be exactly the same. I don't know, like, but for me, it has been.
Right. For you specifically, these are your results, right?
These are my results.
Right.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Today I have like 13 appointments on my calendar after this, so.
Yeah, 13, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk about that because we're only going to just focus on your experience specifically. So we just want to get into the facts, right? So let's just talk about the facts. So what's your experience been like in the last 30, 45 days of being here, just specific, like appointments, how they're coming on your calendar, how many dials you had to make, and then, what has been, kind of the result of, the pre-mix writing.
I've made nearly like 0 dials, really. Like I'm just being honest. And my appointments are coming with a mix of auto book and then the appointments that are booking appointments, right? And like, it's just a numbers game. So I do it 5-6 days a week. Like with telesales, you do have to have way more, like with the 30 appointments that they tell you that you have to have, when you're in the field, like face to face, right? You need to have, I think, double when you're doing telesales because people are not going to answer, like I have people that have joined and then they're reaching out to me and they're like, they want to know what I'm doing different, right? I'm not doing anything different. Like it's just the activity. I'm literally at my desk. My appointments start at 7 o'clock in the morning and I do it from 7 to 7. But honestly, because there's a lot of East Coast and like Central time, I think my last appointment is usually I'm Pacific time. It's usually like around 4 or 5 p.m. my time, because people don't book later than that because then it'll be 8 or, 7 or whatever their time. But I start at 7 in the morning and then, I just call the appointments that I have set, right? And honestly, like not a lot of them answer. Like even out of the 13 appointments, like, I'll maybe have half that answer like on a good day, right? But I feel like the ones that, do answer, I can usually close about 60% of those, right?
Right.
My closing ratio is not really high. Like my closing ratio is only like 50 to 60%. And this is what I like tell people, right? I'm not like this 100% closer. It's just that I make sure that I work 5 to 6 days. If I'm not doing anything like on the 6th day, then I'm going to work, right? If I'm just going to be at home, then I'm going to have appointments booked to work. Why not?
Right.
But I just have a lot of appointments, a lot of activity, and that's just the thing, just having the activity there. That's never changed. Face-to-face or telesales, you have to have double the activity.
Awesome.
So I started April the 8th. I think for the month of April, I submitted like over 35,000 in business. This last submit week, I did like 16,000.
So what is that, about 51? No, 40, yeah, it's about 51 total.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
even with 50% and even with 50% no shows, 50% close ratio, still able to do that. And so, and the reason why do you think that, you know, you're able to do that with those percentages with this system?
Consistency, you know, I make sure that I'm consistent, right? Like I have my calendar. I know that I'm going to be working Monday through Friday, you know, Monday through Saturday. Sometimes if I don't have anything to do on the weekends with like my family or whatever, right? If there's nothing to do on Saturday, then I'm going to have at least a half a day of work. So I think it's just, you know, the consistency. And I mean, I think that's just it, right? You have to be consistent, you know? Right. And again, like if I wasn't getting the auto books, you know, or whatever, then you best believe that I'm going to be dialing the heck out of leads, you know?
Right.
Like some people will be like, well, you know, I called them once, they didn't answer. I'm like, really? Like, dude, these people will see my number on their line 12 times in a day.
Right.
Answer the phone, book an appointment or something, or just tell me to never call you again, but this needs to get resolved.
Right. And the cool thing about that is even with the 50% close and even with this and writing that much, you hadn't had to dial many leads. So that makes it so much more worth it. And yeah.
I'm in heaven.
Yeah, for sure. That's we call that sales nirvana, where clients are coming to you, right? Coming on your calendar. And so let's kind of segue into that, because, you know, you watch videos like this or you've seen other things. And so there'll be people out there that were probably skeptical just like you, right? They're saying this seems too good to be true or this or that. So what can you say just from your experience on working with our Turo Johnson Consulting for people that may be on the fence and maybe looking at trying something like this out?
I mean, honestly, if you're like me and you're like, you know, like I wasn't getting my ROI I was spending the money on the leads, but not getting like the ROI and things like that, you know, I mean, what do you have to lose, right? Like, just do it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Like, it works, you know, that's basically what I thought to myself, you know, the way that I see it was like, I've lost money on buying leads, like somewhere else, right? You know, thousands of dollars, like, to be honest, right? So I'm like, if I spend this money here and it, you know, and it doesn't work, well, whatever, but at least I can say, okay, like I tried it, you know, because I didn't want to go back to working like a W-2 job. I was like, I don't want to do that. So, you know, you try it, it works, you know, great. But honestly, like, it does work.
Right. And so let's put a caveat on that, because you were thinking about, you know, going back to a W-2. So it was kind of like one of those things where
I got to make money, you know?
Right. So even in that, for the agents that are thinking that, man, this business isn't working out for you or something like that, Lorraine was kind of in that same boat, was like, okay, I'm going to try this one last thing. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to go back to being a pharmacy tech or something like that. So, yeah, thanks for kind of sharing your story, because I think this will inspire a lot of people. And so, Marima, if agents want to reach out to you, if they just want to hear more of your story, or if they watch this video and they're like, man, I love her story, I love her charisma, and I want to reach out to maybe to work with her, where can people find you?
They can call me. My number is 310-701-2583. That's my cell phone number. They can call me. Awesome.
And so, Rima, you are the real deal. Thank you so much for being a part of AJC and for all the work you do. We'll continue to support you. And more importantly, thank you for being amazing and sharing your story.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.